heart had had enough of being mistreated, lying there in pieces. Too good to call it luck. You appeared when I needed, gave me back that feeling. It happened all at once, and then you came running. Time was slowly fleeting.
Damn, I miss you. It's hard to miss you. Somebody that knew me like nobody knew me ever before. I know we both need space and time, but I wanna go to a place where I can call you mine. I saw you in my Insta stories and you were looking at me, I was looking at you. It's so sad, there's nothing we can do. It's hard to love your silhouette. I can feel you in the same room, but you are far away. It's hard to love your silhouette. I've been writing on the paper, but the ink won't stay. It's hard to love your silhouette. We can call each other. There's a place and time for that, but that's not right now. And I miss all of those nights of us talking. It's so exhausting to let you go. You were looking at me, I was looking at you. It's so sad, there's nothing we can do. It's hard to love your silhouette. I can feel you in the same room, but you are far away. It's hard to love your silhouette. I've been writing on the paper, but the ink won't stay. It's hard to love your silhouette. It's hard to love your silhouette. I can feel you in the same room, but you're far away. It's hard to love your silhouette. And I've been writing on the paper, but the ink won't stay. It's hard to love your silhouette.